Hi, everybody. Welcome to Maison&Objet and to the talk space. And today we are celebrating the return of the Accor Design Awards. It's an annual design competition that has been running since 2016 in partnership with Maison&Objet. And this year, the theme of the awards looks into sustainability, materiality, and really how design can have a positive impact on the environments around us. And we'll be diving into some of those details. We'll talk about the brief. We'll look at some of the entries and discuss those in detail and how design can be a real pivotal contributor to positive environmental impact. Just to introduce myself, I'm Roddy Clarke. I'm a design journalist and presenter. And a lot of my work focuses on the social and environmental impacts of design. And I contribute to a variety of different titles, and I think as the design landscape has evolved over recent years, the term sustainability has also evolved, and our understanding of it has too. And I'm very excited to be joined by Bittor Sanchez-Monasterio, the Vice President of Design for Midscale and Economy Brands at Accor, and this year's head judges of the awards, Isabel and Beatriz Blanco, the creative duo behind Spanish design studio Burondo. Bittor, coming to you. I think it would be great, actually, before we sort of touch on the awards, if you could just give us a brief introduction to your role at Accor.
Well, welcome, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. At Accor, at our team, our ambition is to create profitable and sustainable designs for our partners, to start with. Performance products for our hotels, and unique and memorable experience for our guests. And we all do this taking care of all the stakeholders while positioning Accor as a design trendsetter. We are from a global team, and myself in particular, I'm in charge of the Midscale and Economy Brands, as you mentioned before.
Amazing. And if you could just outline this year's brief, and also sort of how and why environmental impact is a real sort of critical topic for Accor.
So this year's brief was connected to Novotel. We asked our international students to design a Novotel guest room to reduce its carbon footprint while making sustainable choices, and at the same time championing the well-being of the oceans. This resonates nice with the Novotel brand that we have selected and its partnership with WWF, because we have this Novotel commitment to sustainability and shared common cause with WWF on the preservation of the oceans, but of course as well on a core commitment to sustainability and to the impact on the environment.
And obviously the focus of this year's award is Novotel, which was the first brand of the group and sort of lays the foundation of Accor. And it's really nice to see sort of future design talent merging with this heritage and bringing that together. And, you know, how was it for you to see that, to see those worlds coincide?
It was really interesting because all of the projects that we received, they were of super high quality and design excellence. And while the students, they opened their spirits and they were creating, shifting, imagining potential futures for Novotel that even expected our expectation. They were doing it with very rooted, with the origins spirit of innovation of Novotel. So it was really inspiring how to see that fresh ideas, in fact, are Novotel origin ideas.
And I think that just pays testament to also the legacy of Novotel and how, you know, those ideas come together. And I think it's really, because I've looked at the sort of different awards and, you know, some of the submissions, and it's the innovation and the insight behind it really pays homage to the legacy of the brand as well. And so how many submissions were received overall? So
every year, the competition keeps on growing. Next year, it will be the 10th anniversary of our awards. And it is growing because, for instance, the international footprint is growing. Also, the relevance of the design agency, design schools with whom we partner. We had 100+ proposals from all over the world. And then we had to narrow down to 10 finalists that on their own, they were already winners. I mean, they were all of very high excellence and design. But we had to go further. And then we selected, and we have many of them here, a VIP jury, not only our head judges. And we have to make and turn even narrowing even more. So we, with the VIP jury, we selected 3 winners. And then on top of that, 2 other projects were head judges' prize, and and you will explain us later why. And then we also had a popular voice choice that was online voting with thousands of voting all over. So that's kind of the process. And then for us, it was important that we could highlight this design excellence this year and connect it to Novotel.
And obviously, you'll see some of the images behind of the sort of the 10 final projects. But what were you sort of really sort of looking for when you were narrowing it down to the final shortlist, and then again to the top 3? What were some of the sort of key criteria that you were keeping in mind?
So first, of course, we were looking to respond to the brief, but with design excellence. That was kind of one first topic. The second topic would be we were looking for innovation around sustainability. But in the truth, what we were looking is for innovative seeds for Novotel design to evolve in the future.
And obviously, you've mentioned the head judges, which we have Isabel and Beatriz here. What drew you to working with Burondo on this year's awards?
Well, every year when we have to select the head judge, it kind of shows up what we are looking for, the response to Novotel, for instance, this year. And then we directly went to Burondo's co-founders, Isabel and Beatriz, because of the amazing work that you guys have done in the Mercure Benidorm, for instance. But also we were very inspired by those 2 very dynamic women running this very young agency of super high quality. But even more importantly, that you can you are achieving to do so with no compromising on your personal lives. And for us, this is a true testimony of a sustainability design as well. It really comes from the agencies, the way we work. And you guys have come with your families here, families to come, and new babies and families here.
6
which
weeks
is a
old.
trend, 7 weeks old, which is also a true testimony that leisure really, really is a trend on hospitality, you know? Because they're coming here for work, they're coming with their families, enjoying and staying at a Novotel for that.
Yeah, coming to you both, I think actually it would be really interesting for you just to introduce the studio to the audience and to give us an insight into your approach to design.
Hi, good afternoon. First of all, thank you so much for inviting. It's an honor for us to be here as part of the judge. So we are Burondo, she is Isabel, and I am Bea. We are sisters and co-founders of Burondo. Burondo is an architectural and interior design studio based in Madrid, but we work worldwide. One of the projects we did recently, it was the Mercure Benidorm that Bittor was mentioning before. So we are both architects and interior designers, and that's one of the things we always mention, that for us, it's the same thing, architecture and design. So for us, it's every project, from the biggest architectural big scale to the small detail, is how we try to approach our projects. Our guidance is sustainability, of course, as you mentioned, but timeliness, authenticity, and serenity. And with those things, we try to make our best in our projects, always trying to keep in mind that the time and how they age That's for us the best sustainability definition, I think.
That's lovely. And I think when you were approached this year to be the head judges, what was your initial response? And also, if you could give it an insight into sort of how the project has been for you.
Hi, everybody. For us, it's an honor to be here with all of you sharing this day. And we received the invite with a sense of responsibility, but also excitement. I think it's a very good opportunity to know the new generation of people who they have a really nice vision of the future. And also we learn a lot about how they understand the profession, and all the proposals that they have created are for us amazing because they have mixed the innovative things, but also a fresh vision of this industry. So.
And was there some things that surprised you from the submissions, or some things that really impressed you that you might even take into your own practice as well?
I think that all the projects have a really good quality, and they have created a very a mix of a concept and the proposal, and everything has coherence, and we think that's very important. It's not only a concept design that is very nice, they have created the project.
They thought about how to make it real. And yeah, we were very impressed about the coherence, yeah, between the concept idea, the concept design, and how they developed, and all the details, yeah, and innovative ideas and fresh ideas, how they mix with the fresh design. Yeah.
And how they have used the technology, the craftsmanship, and they can mix everything, and not only they have a good research, but and they have created beautiful things. So for us, all of these projects are very nice because they have combined all of these things.
Challenging to choose between the 10 shortlisted for us.
Yeah, I can imagine. I think that's really good to hear, because I think when we think about sustainable innovation, it is really a combination of so many factors. We're talking about technology, we're talking about materials, we're talking about the human impact. There is so much that goes into what being truly sustainable really means. How does that influence your own work as a studio? And is sustainability has been something that's been an integral part of it from the outset?
Yes, so for us, how we understand sustainability is try to create spaces or designs that when they age, when the time passes, you still feel excited, and you still feel the emotion that we try to transmit in our design, to evoke, For us, it's very important to feel emotions, when you go to one of the spaces. For example, in the Mercure Benidorm, when we design it, we try to create this atmosphere since the beginning when you come in, and all the materials we chose were natural materials. We play a lot with the light, which are two things that we try always to consider and to keep in mind since the beginning, and that's how we approach.
I think that when you love a space, and when you love something, you take care more about this. So for us, it's very important to create these kind of spaces that you love it and you will take it.
You see, that's something special, that someone has spent a lot of time thinking about it, so you keep it and you look after it, you care about it. Especially in spaces with a lot of traffic, like a hotel, where a lot of people is going to be using a space or using a piece of furniture. When you have a good design, you naturally keep it and care about it more,
And for us, it's very important to start all of our projects with a big research. Not only materials, what is happening in the world, what we want to traduce these kind of things in all our proposals.
That's really interesting. I think what you say about the emotional sort of resonance of a piece or a room, I think that speaks volumes, and again is another aspect of sustainability, that that timeless sort of emotional connection that will speak volumes when it's especially in the residential as well sphere, and also in our public spaces, how those elements of residential are also crossing over into hospitality, and that connection is really sort of helping us realize, because I think when we think about sustainability, a lot of us, when we look at a product, we don't think about the source of a material, we don't think about how it might impact environments going forward. So to bring that connection point into play in a space is really important, isn't it?
And also, it's important for us that when you create something, that it's good quality, thinking ahead, thinking in the future, how that material or whatever we're talking about, maybe a chair that you design and you build it, that it's gonna age nice and it's gonna be durable. So it's going to, it doesn't need to be replaced, you know, in a couple of years because it will last longer. That's sustainability for us.
And also designing with things like disassembly in mind and ensuring it, you know, circularity is a big role in the creation of a piece, which actually, looking at the stand in the, is it Hall 5A that it's in? Yeah. It's been designed.
District, so we'll welcome you later to join us there.
Yeah, could you talk to us actually just about the sort of creation of the stand design itself? Because it's been designed with sort of disassembly in mind.
Exactly. For this third year's edition that will be hosted at Maison&Objet, we really wanted to extend the competition brief to the stand design brief. So we challenged agency Ibera with Ivan Mata and Fina Urpi as co-founders to design the stand as a conscious response to sustainability pillars. And therefore, we were trying to think of reusable, waste, all those big topics. First, we decided that we were going to reduce the materiality and its weight to its minimum. So in fact, the space are shaped through 4 inflatable structures that can be packed into suitcases. They're made out of sails fabric, and they weigh 15 kilos each. You can imagine the entire stand weighs 60 kilos, where whichever stand that you might see in the fair, it might weigh 500 kilos, 2 tons. So we are 1/20th of it. Second was also reducing waste. It was very important for us that the day of the dismantle, we will not have produced remainings that will, of course, be recycled, but we wanted to even go further. So the entire inflatable structures can be packed back to the suitcases and brought back to another location, which is another topic for us, that we wanted to reuse the same stand in different venues, in different locations. Those 4 inflatable structures will be replaced in a modular manner in another location. So with all of that, we truly wanted to embody sustainability, but also innovation.
And I think that whole mindset, which is, you know, again, it's a lot of innovation that's come into play, but it was so evident looking at the submissions of the awards as well. And, you know, I think when I address this topic, you know, on a daily basis through my work, and I see the work of young emerging talents come through, and that fills me with hope that, you know, a greener, sustainable future is still possible. And I think when, you know, because you've been doing the awards for, as you say, 10 years next year, how do the sort of visionary mindsets of these young talents really sort of influence the group as a whole?
Well, the influence is huge. Every year, we think that we're going to get that much, and it always exceeded our expectations. They come with these very creative minds, and Accor Design Awards is this students' platform to first connect to the source of future design visions, no? And that's kind of making us grow our own brands and influence our brands. In every year we choose one brand, so in this year, for instance, with Novotel. But it also has an impact on our team itself, because since the beginning of it, the winners of the Accor Design Awards have been joining us in the global design team as apprenticeship, as an intern, and it is huge how they can join and enroll our design family. But even our brands designs have been enjoying that, because for instance, Ibis Budget, a young student 10 years ago, winner of the Accor Design Awards, won the competition, and then joined us as an apprenticeship in our office. And at some point we say, why don't you open your own design agency? And then we encourage him to open that, and then we even say, why don't you participate to this international professional competition to design the new concept for Ibis Budget, and they won. And our current Ibis Budget Reboost concept is done as a result of this competition, which means that, I mean, the cascading effect is huge on us.
I think that's what I've noticed in the years that I've been in contact with the awards. I think it's the tangible results that happen after the awards, which is so pivotal, and especially, you know, at such a stage in their early career, where having this platform and then having the experience at the heart of an international group where they can learn from and then go away and set up their own studio. I mean, that is hugely pivotal for these, you know, students that are entering the competition.
Truth, I mean, because the relevance of the competition is growing every year, we have much more impact to the design community, student design community. So, for instance, 2023, Tristan Duplessis, head judge, always reminded us that when he receives a young designer and then they tell that they participated to the competition, they don't need to look to the CV anymore. They know and they trust his or her skills, because it is a stamp of quality, a stamp of design excellence. So that's very important. And also taking that example, we've seen winners of this competition coming from France, shifting their young careers, and then joining those design agencies, for instance, in Tristan Duplessis, Cape Town, very far away, and they reshape their career because of that, you know? So that's very encouraging for us, that we can see that we can that we are an agent for their growth.
And it gives them an insight into the global industry as well, which is, you know, a key insight for them to have.
Yeah, we have to remember that this is the only international student competition done by a worldwide operator, hotel operator, which means this is also an entryway to our design family, to our design universe.
And you briefly touched earlier on the partnership with WWF. Could you just outline how that works and that partnership in more detail?
Since we have the Novotel team here and WWF's representative as well. And this is a partnership that dates from 2024. And the partnership is based on the responsibility of Accor, of Novotel towards sustainability, and the shared willingness to the preservation of ocean. And so much has been done already in this year, such as, let's say, implementation of sustainable policies on our hotels globally, or how the Novotel team supports WWF on their actions to the preservation of the ocean. So we will see much more emerging. We're really even crafting and shifting what's going to happen, but already so much happened.
Exciting. And I think talking more about the design of sort of hospitality spaces, I think a lot of the design is governed around certifications and also designing for longevity with high traffic areas. How do you balance all of these whilst prioritizing circularity and sustainability and finding a suitable balance between the two?
I think it's more challenging, of course, when you have to think about all the traffic that is going to be enjoying or touching and enjoying our designs. So we try to consider in our in our projects, always to, as I was explaining before, no, to think about how the experience of the guest will enjoy our design. We want to understand how much time we spend thinking that concept design, that concept ideas, and to make it real, you know, with all these technical details, and also working with a lot of people involved, you know, because for us it's not all about the design, it's also about being involved, creating a chain of collaborators that have the same ideas, what we want as a concept, you know. So working with local, for example, in the projects, we always try to find local craftsmanships, local materials, and creating this community with the same meaning. So that's how we try to make the project real, you know, not only in the concept in the office, also trying to make them real for the future.
And that's where collaboration is really key, right? In addressing sustainability within design, it is about bringing different experts on board, different material suppliers on board, and really sort of harnessing those collaborations where you're pulling together people who are, you know, aiming towards the same goal, right?
I mean, it's really important in order to achieve a holistic approach that this collaboration, it is nested and created. We can combine different systems, different consultants, different materials, and all of that creates a magic of a much more balanced design that helps us achieve much more with much less. I mean, collaboration without that, will be looking on silos, and we will not have that integration of the different systems.
We try to collaborate with people that with locals, and we try to looking for 0 kilometer, you know, distance, because for us it's very important, and we can learn from them the culture and all the things that they have to offer us, and we learn a lot from them, the materials that they have used to work, and I think that.
And also the companies you work with, for example, in this case, Accor, you know, when they have the same ideas and they share your same principles, you know, in the design approach.
Same values, yeah.
The values, that's the word I was looking for, thank you. The same values.
But also working locally adds such provenance and such, again, connection to a space, you know, especially in the hospitality arena. You know, where people visiting can experience, you know, the work and the skill sets of local people and materials from the area, and it adds such an extra narrative to a space. Talking about challenges, I think when we look at sustainability, one of the sort of main questions that always comes up is how do you balance commercial viability with sustainability? And it's obviously always the biggest challenge for designers. What advice would you have there, and what solutions have you found before that have helped towards balancing those commercial values with the sustainable values?
So yes, so important to have the concept clear, what you want to create, and the key values, you know, of your design. As we were saying, important to be surrounded by people that have the same ideas. So for example, if you create a design, but it's only in paper, it doesn't have, so you can have all these ideas that you have to make them real. So for us, it's so important to find the right people to work with and to develop all these ideas with the right people. So create a good community with all these designers, and also technicians, and also craftsmen, and also developers, because you need to make something profitable. So someone has to, you have to always keep that in mind when you are working in hospitality. And
also for us, I think in this kind of projects, you never have too much time, no? But I think that at that point it's very important, because when you are designing something, you need time to have a good research, to create a good concept, to find the people who can create your idea. So for us, that point is very important.
I think also this is where communication at the outset of a project is all about alignment of values and ensuring that those sustainable values are placed alongside every other factor of a project. And I think that, again, is ensuring that all partners and everyone involved, understands that sustainability is such a core, integral, and inherent function of design.
And try the material if it's work good for your project, because sometimes it looks beautiful, but it's not the good one for the project. So you need time to try everything, and with time you enjoy more the project. And for us, that's very important, because when you are enjoying the projects, you create better things, and we think that's important too.
Yeah, every designer that I interview, I think they always say, we need more time. But was there any specific materials from the submissions that you were impressed by, that you thought you would potentially use in the future?
It was really interesting to see how professional approach those students were doing on their sustainability research. It was mind-striking. I remember from Algae's project, they created surfacing and panelies based on the result of processing algae. And they had a design potential huge. And it is really amazing that if we could, through this competition, help those suppliers, help those materials go mainstream, because they have not yet arrived to that point. Others products that were very interesting, those that the product final, it is based on material of pollutant residues from the oceans. And then how they were transforming those products, and will have a double impact, but because while we're cleaning the oceans, we're building our hotels. I mean, how much powerful this can be, So how we can now bring those to the next step is what, those are the innovative seeds we were talking you about before.
Yeah. I think it's also, it's just proof that these awards, it's not only about elevating the designers, but it's also about raising awareness around materials that need sort of pushing towards the market, right? And developing so that they can be used on a wider level. So that's, it's always a fascinating thing to see. After sort of going through all the submissions and now looking back on the awards, how optimistic do you all feel in seeing the younger generation hugely passionate about changing the landscape of design?
I mean, I have no doubt. I mean, future younger generations, sustainability for them is a non-negotiable requirement. But not only on the professional field, on design, it's also in every step of their life. And then we don't have to remember that they are our future clients. So, I mean, it is going to be a flow that keep on growing.
I think, you're right. I go to a lot of graduate shows as well each year, and it is inherent within every single project now that comes through. And it's
per default.
And it's so optimistic to see that we can actually take a lot of inspiration from them and their passion. So for students that might be in the audience that maybe haven't been a part of the awards, what would you say to them to sort of encourage them to maybe apply for next year's?
I think I kind of mentioned a little bit this before. First, winning the prize is gorgeous, because they belong to our family. They have access to Damien Perrault and all the teams from the regions, even knowing the brand even better. So that's kind of a given, For this year, because we wanted to invest in them, the prize was bringing them here, so we have them on stage, and we will see it in the award ceremony in a minute. How they join, how happy they are, how we can really showcase their work, not only on the stand that you see in a little minute, but also on social media. So we really invest a lot on them. And as I mentioned before, it has impact on our brands, it has impact on our designs, I mean, the potential cascade is really, really big.
And it also connects them with each other.
Of course.
And I think that is hugely, I mean, that must be hugely pivotal for designers to connect with each other. You must have experienced that in your early stages of building a studio. I think that is the lovely thing. You become part of a community and you're all fighting for the same values. So we've got about 10 minutes left, so I'd love to open up to the audience. I'm sure there must be a couple of questions out there. But yeah, it would be great to hear from you. And someone's got to be first, so don't be shy. There must be some questions out there going through people's minds. It can be about the awards, it can be about hospitality, sustainability.
Have any of you already visited the stand here? So what's your impression of it? That will be
Yeah.
a question from me to you guys.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. I think also I mean, another question that I would have for you two is, what will you take away from it, from this experience of judging, and how has it maybe impacted your own ways of working?
We were impressed, seriously, we were impressed by the ideas, by the projects. And as I told you, we were only looking at the 10 shortlisted, and we were amazed with the passion and the creative ideas, how they developed them. Seriously, it's, so for us, it was really, we were really happy to see that the new generations are embracing and considering the sustainability as the main thing for a project, but not only, also, I would say, also thinking about how beauty, the result is, because for us, as I told you, beauty is sustainability as well. And they were both, like creative, beauty, and it was all the mix in mainly all the projects. So it was very challenging to choose between them, and really happy to see the new generations, how creative and amazing the projects are. Yeah, so I would say.
I think it's redefining the landscape of design and what our appreciation of design aesthetics are, and what we deem as sort of perfection within design as well. It goes so much deeper than surface level now, because we have to understand the provenance of a piece and all of these things. And I think that's what these awards do, is they raise awareness around these critical topics, and really connect us with designers, future designers that are working with this mindset.
I think we had Astrid that wanted to ask something.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, I have a question. So, as it's the 9th year, is there any design element from the previous years that have now been implemented in your hotels or coming up into your hotel?
Definitely. There was one year where we were working on Ibis, and then the result of the competition was building the pilot of what the product or the proposal that the winner had. And then we even created design guidelines that were offered to our hoteliers to build if they would like to do it. So there's been tangible, very specifically tangible. For us, it nourishes us on what the brand should be shaped next. So for not only in design, for instance, in this year's competition, it was tackling even the qualities of our service, how design, service, and activation should be as one only thing together. And many discussions there are arising of the competition. And this is why also we have our brand teams, colleagues, but we also had stakeholders of the hotel hospitality, such the franchisees, French Franchisees Association, or even our sponsor partners, that they are from the industry. And all that communication, all that shared conversations, it always triggers the next steps.
Thank you.
I think also how public spaces and hospitality spaces are becoming tools for connection and community when we need it. more than ever as well. And it's all part of the same sort of wider conversation of sustainability and well-being.
Yeah, they're becoming like third places for the society to join in, whereas before hotels were more exclusive, close to the city. Now they're open, they're welcoming. We're attracting them to just be with us, and not only because they are hotel guests, they could just be as neighborhood guests, that they want to use our facilities, our place, because it's becoming the place to be.
Yeah, I think you're right. Well, we've got another question. Is there a mic somewhere?
Thanks for the presentation. Maybe one question about the sustainability. On the projects we can see, is there any criteria of recyclability in terms of rooms? I mean, when you ask the students, you ask them to work on this kind of workshop and project, do you ask them criteria about 50% of all these materials should be recyclable after 5 years, 7 years, 10 years? Maybe 70% of the room should be recyclable, maybe 100%, I don't know. So maybe there is any criteria on that.
Yeah, there were no such strict criteria because we wanted them to understand sustainability from their own point of view. There were some proposals like Pole Pole that were really tackling to social and community around and local processes, construction processes that were happening, where other were talking about circular furniture that could be removable and reusable or interchangeable in the future. Some other, they were really much researching on bringing these new materials to life and shaping new furniture with it. So they all had their own interpretation, and it wanted them to explore freely what they wanted.
And then in your future project or in your thought in the next years, are you thinking about that, about on Novotel brand, maybe other brands on Accor, saying, okay, we need to have like design sustainable rooms, but the criteria for recyclability is more and more important, so we need to work also on that, and it's tomorrow for us, it's an absolute necessity or necessity?
Definitely. Since 2019, we're studying our standardized design concepts for Novotel, Ibis budget. We're studying what we call the sustainability passport of it. So we're thinking on toxicity, circularity, sustainability, carbon footprint. And we are, by creating our own database, we can see if the new designs, they are as performant or even more performant. And we're even thinking how to make those analyses each time more alive with the supply chain, with our procurement department. So we're really trying to improve on the tangibles, on the KPIs that can really be objective, that we're achieving goals.
Yeah, it's interesting to see, and I think, as you say, in hotels and hospitality, it's, there's always been a certain need for refurbishment with, the use that it gets, and it's looking at different, repair models and all of these things that are playing into the redesign of hotels and how they're becoming and changing and evolving into more sustainable spaces, for sure. Thank you for everyone for coming. We are going to wrap up, and thank you to the panelists. It's been a very insightful talk. But if everyone wants to stay seated, as we are coming up to the awards ceremony next, which I think will be hosted by Sarah. So do stick around because it's going to be an exciting one.